prologue, no one ever really trained me how to be an adult. Like, my mom tried really hard. But like, for example, like I shaved my neck on the way over here today. And as someone who is frequently mistaken for a woman by over-the-phone customer service reps, I feel okay saying that there's a quote from Sex and the City that I try to live by. Maybe some women aren't meant to be tamed. Maybe they're meant to run free until they find someone just as wild to run free with them. Couple metaphors. A friend of mine told me a couple years ago that Cheese Whiz was invented entirely for the cheese steak. And I don't know if that's true, but I was thinking that it's the perfect metaphor for love. That there's someone out there who was made for us. And I don't know if you recognize me, but it might be because in 1987, when I was 3, I was on the Philadelphia version of the show Bozo the Clown. And I was in the game where there were a bunch of chairs with balloons on them, and we won this big prize if we were the fastest to pop it with our butts. And I was getting upset and worried after I couldn't do it real quick. I don't have the best fine or gross motor skills. And I was looking around to see what the other kids were doing, and I never did pop my butt balloon. But I thought that that's a pretty good metaphor for adult life. Like, people are popping their butt balloons, getting married, having kids, buying houses. Sometimes it seems like we have to look around to see what other people are doing. But I ended up getting a He-Man toy. And I was so happy, and sometimes the universe will just give us a He-Man toy. I turned 30 in 2014, and I traveled with my family out to Las Vegas. My sister was getting married to the love of her life, and she didn't want to wait any longer, and she was getting married. And my twin brother flew out a few days earlier to meet a woman with whom he was in love, and I was single. The most recent relationship I had been in, the young lady had broken up with me because I'm not great at being an adult. Like, I legitimately, occasionally have trouble dressing myself. And one day she was mad at the outfit I had chosen, and there was like a lot of silence in the car on the way to the event. And at some point I said to her, "Are you mad about the pants that I chose to wear today?" And she said, "I'm mad that you own those pants." So on the last night of my trip, our trip, my sister was on her honeymoon, my brother was talking on the phone with his beloved, and I was walking along Las Vegas Boulevard, starting to worry that they were popping all of their butt balloons, and mine was nowhere in sight. When all of a sudden, right in front of me, a crowd starts to form. And I walk up to the front, and I see what can only be described as a comedic hip-hop breakdance crew just putting on a show. And people start to come up, and there's like 100, 150, now 200 people all on the strip around me. And I take out my phone to record it because it's so amazing and it's a great show. They have really like relevant jokes for the time. And they get to the end of the show and they say, what's going to happen is we're going to jump over 4 women. So we have 4 volunteers. And there's this one guy who apparently can jump really high and really far. So they call out 4 women, and they come out to the center of the show, and everyone on the crew stops, and they're like, wait, a show is not a show without at least one tall, rich, white guy.
Yes!
And I was like, I'm two of those things. And they came over and grabbed me, and I was the fifth person they jumped over, and I started to realize, like, if I had been with my butt balloon, I couldn't possibly have been the tall, rich, white guy. Epilogue. The last thing I did when I got home, the first thing I did, was go get a cheesesteak at my favorite place, Steve's Princess Steaks in Northeast Philly. And I thought about Cheese Whiz and love. And I realized that when the universe was ready, it would provide me with that wild woman who was just as wild or weird as me. And we would pop our balloons when we were ready. Thank you.